Okay guys, well this is the amazing tiling glass cutter. I'm just going to run through a few things that the tool's capable of. This one here is wall tile. Score it with the wheel, one edge to another. Dead centre, gently squeeze. That's a straight line, this is a shape. Just like so. Wherever we score it. That's the weakest part of the tile. Shape the tool bends it, pushes it to bite. That one's a small tile, doesn't really matter how big the tile is. This one's a 6-inch wall tile, same difference. Easy peasy, nice clean cuts every time. So that's wall tile. Floor tile's a little tougher, so it does take a little bit more work. So I'm just going to put a little bit more pressure on that. So nice firm score. Easy. Even on the floor tiles, we're not restricted to straight lines. Radius cuts. We get nice clean cuts every time. Easy peasy. Regular floor tile. This one is porcelain. This one's really tough. So there's a little bit more pressure this one. So I'm putting twice the pressure on, leaning on it at the same time. Nice firm score. Same thing, dead centre on the line. Do a radius cut in this one. We got a bit more pressure. And again we got a nice clean cut. Just like so. Sharper radius. We can do up to about 1/4 of a circle. Because we're bending the tile, that's as far as we can bend. There we go, a nice clean cut. Cut around the tub of the toilet. On these tiles, just again push down hard for hard tile. See, I'm using 2 hands here, getting that extra pressure. Dead centre. So that's some crazy cut. If you want to do some perfect straight lines, you're going to use a straight edge. So with a nice smooth edge on there. Straight edge. So just take the side of the tool, it's got a flat side on one side, run it up against the straight edge. And that gives us a nice straight edge. Obviously if you need an angle, just making sure this flat side here runs up against the straight edge. These are all straight lines. Obviously if it's a bigger tile, you need a bigger straight edge. Make sure you get something with a nice smooth side on it. Don't use another tile, they're not smooth. That would not give me a clean cut. Again, same on a wall tile, not restricted to straight lines. And do some crazy cuts with the tool and we get a nice clean cut on there. So that's regular tile, wall tile, porcelain. If you're doing a really thick tile, it's a little bit harder to squeeze. This one's a quarry tile paper for outside. Every 3 or 4 times I use the tool, I should really put a drop of oil on there. That'll keep the wheel turning freely. Just using 3-in-1, any light machine oil works. Nice firm score. Make sure you can get it in the jaws, that's my limitation. About 3/4 inch is the thickest I can do. It does take a bit more to squeeze those heavier tiles, but that's the only difference. And again, even on something this thick, as long as we get a good firm score, you can even create a weakness and cut shapes in quarry tile papers. Easy peasy. Now that's amazing. So that's tile. Now we're going to move on to some glass. This one here is thin glass. This is a about 1/8 of an inch thick. Now when you're doing glass of any description, you'd always put a little oil on the wheel. What the oil does is keep the wheel turning freely, cool down the glass. Make sure you hear that noise. Make sure you center the tool right on the middle. You can see it pushing up underneath the glass. That makes the glass easy peasy. Show you a little trick when you're doing real thin pieces of glass. What we've got here now is the gap in between these 2 points. It's too big right now to squeeze the glass. So I'm going to fold the head forward, like so. And that literally makes the gap smaller in between the 2 points. And that allows me to squeeze little teeny pieces that nobody else can cut. Easy peasy. That's why the people who do the stained glass love the tool. Very versatile. You can go from something as quarry tile to something as delicate as glass and stained glass with the same tool. Works the same on thicker glass, mirrors and stained glass. Doesn't really matter how thick it is. This one's the mirror. Exactly the same. It's a little longer. Again, I should really oil the wheel every time for glass. Again, gives you a much cleaner edge to it. I'll try and do this real slow so you can see that travel all the way down there. Easy peasy. So a regular, it's about 1/8 inch mirror. And this one here's a big thick one. This one's quarter plate. A lot thicker, but it looks exactly the same way. Again, make sure you hear that noise. Dead centre on the glass. I'm just going to bend the head back for this one because this is a thicker piece, don't need it thin. Dead centre on the glass. I'm just going to lift and squeeze at the same time. If you watch this very carefully, you'll actually see it running down the glass. The 1/4 inch. That's quite a thick one. 1/4 inch thick. It doesn't really matter how thick it is. You can cut up to about 3/4 inch with the tool. Don't like squeezing it that thick. I'll just break it over the edge of the table when it gets that thick. Okay, glass tiles. That's pretty cool. Everybody loves these right now. So the guy who has to install them, he hates them because you can't cut them with anything. Well, that's all there is to cutting glass tile now. Easy peasy. A nice clean cut. So glass of any description is going to work in the same way. Stained glass. Some stained glass. Stained glass. And again, you can do those crazy cuts on the glass. Some real intricate cuts. You can do small ones. Anybody who does stained glass will notice that I'm actually pulling the tool towards me rather than pushing it away from me. With this tool it's easy to control like that, and you can also follow a line. So if I needed a specific shape, I could just draw the line on there. If I tried to push it away, the head here would obscure the line. And so what I do is I follow the line from behind the wheel. I'm looking right directly behind the wheel. Don't need to go fast. Very gently squeeze. And that's all there is to cut shapes in glass. Use the same technique. Cut shapes in the tile. Cut around the toilets. Instead of doing lots and lots of straight lines with the wet saw, which is what I used to do. Just do this. Notice I didn't need to go fast, just nice and firm. Angle the tool towards the line, so we're always dead centre here. That bar's pushing up underneath. And that's a nice clean cut. Let's wipe the line off. And you can see just how clean that really is. Now I've got tiny glass tiles on the sheet. I'll take them off the sheet to cut them. Just cut them one at a time. You can score them all on the sheet, but you got to take them off to cut them. Those little tiny ones. And then these ones are little 1 inch squares. Exactly the same principle. If I was going to score them all on the sheet, I could. And then I would just need to cut them one at a time and take them off the sheet, etc. And you can just take the tile off the sheet and just cut the tiles individually. And that's all there is to it. Easy peasy. And that's the amazing tile and glass cutter.